Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wave 2, Magneto. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we continue looking at the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wave 2. As in front of me, we have another Magneto. That's right, so far we have a Magneto each wave, but wave 1 Magneto is in his classic inspired look, the reds, the purples, the trademark helmet. This time round it is definitely comic inspired, but we are yet to see it in the animated show. However, since we know the show is returning now March 20th 2024 on Disney Plus, and we've seen a trailer, we can start to put the pieces together to sort of guess what's going on here, because at the end of that trailer he gets the will and testament of Charles Xavier, which is parallel to what we've seen in 1985's Uncanny X-Men 200, where Magneto promised to take over the school for Charles while he was up in space with the She-Hulk, which is sort of what's happening in the animated show. He tries to be a good guy for a little bit as the headmaster of Xavier's school. He went under the sort of mantle of Michael Xavier, pretending to be the cousin of Charles for a little bit, but it was of course Magneto training the New Mutant, and he wore this hero attire for a tiny bit. Now, of course, it's Magneto. He went back to his dastardly ways, but it was fun to see the character try to be a good guy and struggle with being a role model for a short while. And I assume that's what we're going to see in the animated show. And now we have a figure to represent exactly that. For the first time in Marvel Legends form, we have this sort of Headmaster Magneto attire. It does come with two unmasked head sculpts, which I really like, and of course I'm going to try some head swaps in this video, but otherwise very much purple with the cape and then the big M on the chest. We've not seen a scene yet in the show, of course, but we do have this promo art on the box, so I look forward to it. So there it is on the packaging, on the back of the box, another promo image plus the other 5 figures in this wave of 6. So without further ado, let's get Headmaster Magneto open. Here we have our Headmaster Magneto out of the packaging with all of his accessories. As I mentioned, one interchangeable angry expression head, and then a set of those open palm expressive Vulcan hands we get on all of these bodies. Out of the box, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Now, first question, is this Magneto the same as Wave 1, just repainted with a new head? Answer, absolutely not. He is on a completely different body type. First up, he is a slight bit taller. So you can see this Magneto is about 6 3/4 in height, which you will see is a smidge bit bigger than Wave 1 Magneto. No messing around, straight in with a comparison. Now there's similarities with the capes as they both swing in, but that is honestly just the way they are packed in the box. I actually think this Magneto has maybe a Moon Knight cape, but either way, they are different, and you will tell that both bodies are completely different. New Headmaster Magneto has elements of the Vulcan body, but they have gave him those new sleeved arms. Are pinless though, thankfully. Old Magneto is pinless too, but it is on an older Marvel Legends body, as it doesn't have the butterfly joints, unfortunately. But yes, completely different body types, and if I stand them next to each other close up, you will see for yourself that our new Magneto is a tiny bit taller. But I don't think that matters too much, as you won't pose them together on the shelf, and you can just pretend that his helmet smudges down his hair anyway. What does bother me just a tiny bit is that proportionately this Magneto is a lot more thicker and broader compared to this one, and considering it's the same guy in the same sort of era, they're just wearing different costumes, you would like them to both be the same proportionately, but because they're using different body types, that is not to be. I don't think it will matter too much on a display, but I'm just pointing out what you will inevitably tell me in the comments anyway. But I still think both look great and are both great representations of each particular era. I look forward to seeing the show. So before we take a closer look at this, and don't you worry, I will do lots of those head swaps, I just want to have a quick word from our friends at Legendsverse.
Let me introduce you to legendsverse.com, a place all Marvel Legends collectors are going to want to know about. If you are looking for an easy way to keep track of your collection, what figures you have, and create wish lists, then Legendsverse can do all of this and so much more. It's a comprehensive Marvel Legends database that, once you have added your collection, gives you stats like how many figures you own, how many waves and builder figures you have completed, and how much your collection is worth right now. Organize your collection in teams, upload photos of each figure, look at price guides, and share your collection with friends by showcasing your own profile. Go and sign up and see for yourself. Legendsverse.com.
If you collect Marvel Legends, you should absolutely check out Legendsverse. All the links in the video description. Now, taking a closer look at Eric here, these could be some of the best unhelmeted heads we have in our Marvel Legends collection. Look at those piercing blue eyes with the digital face printing tech. Honestly, I know this is meant to represent the animated show, but you should be able to use this in your comic display wherever you desire. The head sculpt's really nice as well in general with the hair. It does seem to have a little bit of a blue tint to it as well to bring out some of that sculpt work, or maybe it's just the shadows catching lights as I spin it around. But even still, it is very nicely done. So we have the sort of stoic, sort of neutral expression on the head right now, and you can see the scarf, the purple scarf, sort of covers the bottom of the hair, but this scarf is just a separate piece. As I said, it's sort of I think it's the Moon Knight one, but I could be wrong. It looks very similar if it isn't the same anyway. So I'm going to pop the head off just so I can take the scarf off like so, and pop this head back on so you can see it all, because you can see the two dangle bits of hair coming draping down over the shoulders that are usually hidden via the scarf. Now again, I've got a white background and he's got white hair, so I apologise if it's fading away, but I assure you this is a great head sculpt all the way around. So let me swap that one off, and again, simple pop. It is a dumbbell, it's not a dumbbell, it's a disc and hinge, sorry, which sometimes allows for more range anyway. Let's swap it on for the angry expression. So again, it's the same head sculpt, the same hair sculpt, sorry, but now just a different expression with the hair. But again, you have those piercing blue eyes, digital face printing tech, a little bit stylized for the animated show, but it is really, really nice. So I'll throw up a side by side on screen right now of both head sculpts. You can pick your preference yourself, absolutely, which you prefer, stoic or angry. Let me know in the comments below. So while the cape's off, let's just take a closer look at the rest of Magneto here. So of course we have the big M on the chest in that sort of lighter shade of purple, and he has got the ab crunch there. So he will crunch forward and he will crunch back like so, and the M does continue throughout the ab crunch, which is good to know. The shoulders go really far up, no problem at all. Bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, great range, and these do seem to be new pinless arms, as you now have these sleeves that are sculpted up to the top. So these ain't two elements of paint, that is two elements of plastic, which does work out really well. A nice clean cut there, and then look at that for a clean butterfly joint as well. Like really good range on the butterfly joint going forward and back. So you'll be able to get this guy posed up, no doubt, in some good range poses. So yeah, that's really nice. Up top you get the swivel at the waist, then down to the legs you have the double jointed pinless knees, thigh cut. Let's go that far forward, let's do the double G, there you go, double knee, the boot cut, even though he's not wearing boots, ankle pivot and rocker, thigh swivel, all of that good stuff. So what you would expect for Marvel Legends. How far out can he go? About that far forward, but again, it's Magneto, you don't really need him to do the splits or anything like that. So yeah, two fisted hands on the figure out of the packaging. Now of course, when this cape on, this is just a solid plastic cape piece, so it's quite rigid, so it will hold its shape. So unfortunately, you can just put it over the head like so. There is a hole in the back of the figure that you can plug the cape into to better hold its position, but yeah, it just sort of sits over the shoulders and balances in position. So it's not going to hinder any of the articulation at all. And for neutral sort of static poses, you'll be fine. But I know some people love switching that out for a sort of a soft goods cape. He does have a set of open palm expressive hands. As I said, we have got these with virtually every Vulcan body mold so far. They're a little bit oversized sometimes, but they work here, no problem. So again, the cape will fall out and sort of dangle a little bit if you don't plug it in on the back. But otherwise, I do think plug that in under the hair, get him posed up just right. This is going to be a nice looking Magneto on the shelf. We just need some new mutants now for him to teach. Bringing back our first X-Men 97 Magneto in his classic attire. just because I want to do some head swaps now. The purples are close, but they're not exactly the same. If anyone was paying attention, I think this one is a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit darker. Again, just something I'm pointing out. Let's swap those heads. And would you look at that? It looks great. It fits straight onto the peg. No modifications at all. Just heat it up a little bit. It will fit right on there. Of course, you can get him to hold his helmet as well if you just don't reveal the face. We do have a sort of completely empty Magneto helmet, though. I think we got in the Love Triangle 3-pack. So if you find that, you can definitely get him posed up for some better poses. But yeah, this is really, really nice. Let's try that angry expression. And would you look at that? Of course, it absolutely works. Angry Magneto expression on the Wave 1 Magneto body. Of course it works, no problem at all. It makes sense now why we didn't get any unmasked heads with Wave 1, because they knew that we were going to get 2 with Wave 2 Magneto. So all is forgiven now, Hasbro, because we have some great options for our display. So you can see on screen now those options, both of the new head sculpts, angry and neutral, on the Wave 1 Magneto. Yes, absolutely work. Continuing to look at Magnetos without the helmet, here we have a couple of examples in my collection at least. We have the AOA Magneto, is unique within itself as is the only one that has sort of braids, so that is its own thing. But this Magneto, I can't even remember if this unmasked head came with this figure, but that's how I've got it displayed on my shelf just for a little bit of variety. And that was probably the best unmasked Eric head that we had until these absolutely are a game changer. If I throw up a side by side of that compared to the new one, yes, the hair is a little bit longer in the animated show, but it is still the same character, and the digital face printing tech, the color palette, it's just a massive upgrade. But if you want to see a head swap, let's just try some. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I really like this head sculpt on this sort of red and black Magneto body. I think the white hair is just a great contrast compared to the black outfit. So yeah, that looks really, really good. And then I've put that old head on this just to see what it looked like. And you can see the color palette of the skin tone is way off, so it doesn't really work. Again, this wasn't a terrible head sculpt for its time, but it's just, this is such an improvement. Yes, there is even more Magneto. So on the table in the all white is the House of X Magneto. Now, good luck seeing him on my white background, but I can assure you there is an action figure there. And then this, I can only assume, is most of people's main Magneto in their collection in his classic look from the Family Matters 3-pack with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. It was my main Magneto, at least until this recent X-Men 97 version came out. So the body is obviously a little bit different compared to the X-Men 97 version, as that got an upgrade. But in case you don't want to buy this X-Men 97 version, but you buy this for the new heads, let's try a head swap with both of these, shall we? So again, yes, this head does work on the old Family Matters version of Magneto. Again, I apologise for the white background. That looks great. And then I put the alternative angry head on the white outfit Magneto. So again, he's probably invisible right now on screen, but I assure you it looks really good with the white on white. So again, these head sculpts are going to give you lots of possibilities with all your Magnetos. And I'm sure I'm missing a glaring obvious Magneto, but here we have a table full of Magnetos. And yes, just to confirm, for everybody who wants to know, both of these head sculpts will work on any of these bodies. Hey, I remembered one more Magneto. Do you remember which one? Go on, say it to the screen then. Is it that one? Well, 10 points if you said Onslaught, because here we have the Onslaught Build-A-Figure, who is sort of Magneto, definitely similar in character design. So there's one I forgot to see that I haven't put out of the display for a while. So there we have Onslaught Build-A-Figure compared to our Headmaster Magneto. And obviously I had to try, but unfortunately his long hair at the back has no room to go on the peg. So yeah, the unmasked Magneto head does not work for Onslaught. But Legends community, you are welcome for all the head swaps. Some non-Magneto comparisons to see us out then. Here we have the last review on the channel. It is of course the Executioner, who is in this very same X-Men 97 Wave 2. Both look great. And we can only assume he is now in charge of the school. So let's look at some X-Men, shall we? So here we have Wolverine and Cyclops. Next up, Rogue and Gambit. And the last two X-Men 97 figures I have so far, it is of course Storm and Bishop. How does this guy work in a comic display? Well, absolutely seamlessly, as he has no cell shading at all, and this costume design is comic accurate. So here we have a comic Wolverine and Jean Grey to show you exactly that. Now I would love to bring in some New Mutants from that era of the comics where Magneto was their headmaster, but unfortunately we don't really have many in Marvel Legends form. I was going to bring in some of the Brotherhood as well, but again, I don't want to make a mess of my display. I already took all my Magnetos off for all those head swaps, so there's only so much mess I can make. So until then, here we have some regular X-Men villains with Omega Red, and it's the Juggernaut bit. Some extra legends I had on the table, not X-Men related. It is the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and happy 50th anniversary to Frank Castle. Let's wrap up with some of the Who crew. So here we have Frogman, Tigra and Joe Casta, who is reading out comments from the last Marvel Legends review. Leave a comment on this video and she may read yours on the next one. Who have you picked today?
TalkTac_Toys says, I always remember seeing Kushner in 90s comics and thinking his costume design would make for a great action figure. And here we are. We have one.
And of course, last but never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. Final thoughts on this Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wave 2 Headmaster Magneto. Now the box doesn't say Headmaster anywhere, but we can only assume that is what this costume is all about, as the animated show always did a great job of plucking out influence from the comics and having a great powwow with their own little twist, and that is what this was all about in the comics. He was the headmaster of Charles Xavier School while looking after the New Mutants. Now there may not be many New Mutants in the new show, but there are definitely mutants, so I have no doubts he is going to be the headmaster of Charles Xavier School after reading his will and testament and all of that. So I'm looking forward to watching the show. I'll be there on March 20th on Disney Plus when it returns to our screens with my action figures in hand. I've got 2 Magnetos already, but I do hope we see a Wave 3. Come on, Beast and Jubilee. That's all I'm saying. But if you want to see more Marvel Legend reviews, let me know what you think of this figure in the comments below, of course, and then you're in the right place. Find the video tab, check out the playlist, but most importantly, please, please, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. As always, massive thank you to Legendsverse for sponsoring the video. Links in the description. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter, Dan Who Reviews, and as always, my name is Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.